Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has spared our lives to this moment. We pray accept our ibadat. Ameen. This is Nahw Class 91 and this is تدريبات على نائب الفاعل والفعل المبني للمجهول. Exercises on deputy action, doer and the passive verb. So in previous classes we started نائب الفاعل and الفعل المبني للمجهول, that is deputy action, doer and passive verbs. So now we want to take exercises on them so that we can better understand how they work. So these exercises were extracted from Nahw al-Wadi al-Juz' al-Thani, the second part of Nahw al-Wadi. So you can check the book for more examples, for more exercises. Now the first one says استخرج نائب الفاعل وفعله من العبارات الآتية. Extract the deputy action doer, the نائب الفاعل, and its fi'l, its verb, that is the passive verb, from the following statements. So I'm going to read the statements, then translate first, then we'll extract the verbs and the نائب الفاعل. So تصنع القهوة من البن وطريقة ذلك أن يسكب الماء في الإناء ثم يوضع على النار فإذا غلى الماء رفع الإناء وطرح فيه جزء من البن وقلب البن بملعقة ليمتزج بالماء ثم يقرب الإناء من النار ثانية لينضج ما فيه وتمزج القهوة بسكر أحيانا وكثيرا ما تشرب بدونه. So from the meaning we can extract the verbs and their deputy action doers. So the first one here, تصنع القهوة. تصنع القهوة من البن. Coffee is made from coffee seed. Coffee drink, the coffee drink is made from coffee seed. So here in the statement I made now, you would observe that the performer of the action is not there, is concealed. So that will give us an hint that tusna is this word here. You know, it is not vowelized. So from the meaning you can have an idea that okay, it is an active verb or a passive verb. So now I have said tusna already. You can see that it came in the yuf'alu shape. So that has told us that tusna is what? Is a passive verb. And al-qahwatu, because it's taken raw form, is the na'ib al-fa'il. So that is what I have extracted here. Tusna al-qahwatu min al-bun. So coffee drink is extracted from coffee seed. وطريقة ذلك أن يسكب الماء في الإناء. And a way to do that is to pour water into the container, into a container or a pot. So let's use ina as a pot here. So pour water into a pot. So use kaba, from what I said now, is by pouring water. So watarikot zalika and use kaba is by pouring water into a pot or a container. So use kaba here from the meaning is pointing at passive verb, and from the shape we know that it is passive verb. So that is what has been instructed here. Use kaba and what? And al-ma'u. So al-ma'u is the na'ib al-fa'il of use kaba. Then thumma yuda ala nar, then it is placed on fire. Then the pot or the container is placed on fire. So yuda is the passive verb and its na'ib al-fa'il, deputy action doer, is concealed, is mustatir, because it's still pointing back to the inner, but here it is mustatir. So our na'ib al-fa'il here is damir mustatir takdiruhu huwa in this occasion. So فَإِذَا غَلَى الْمَاء, when the water gets boiled, رُفِعَ الْإِنَاءُ وَطُرِحَ فِيهِ جُزْءٌ مِنَ الْبُنِّ. So رُفِعَ is also a passive verb, and ina is the deputy action doer, the na'ib al-fa'il. Then turiha also is the passive verb, but the noble file here is juz'un. So waturiha juz'un min al-bunni fihi, waturiha fihi juz'un min al-bunni. So juz'un is the noble file for turiha. Then وقلب البن بملعقة ليمتزج بالماء. So then the seed is stirred with a spoon so that it mixes with the water. Then there's our passive verb here is kulliba, and the noble file is al-bunnu. So kulliba al-bunnu bimil'aqatin yamtazja bil-ma'. Then thumma yuqarrabu al-inahu min al-nari thaniyatan. Then the container or the pot is taken back to the fire for the second time. So yuqarrabu is the passive verb, is the majhul, and al-inahu is the noble file. Liyan dojama fihi, so that what's the content of the pot or the container gets cooked. So wa tumzaju al-qahwatu bisukkarin. Then the coffee is mixed with sugar ahyanan sometimes, wa kathiran ma tushrab biduni, and most of the times it is usually taken or drunk without sugar. So these are the majhul verbs, the passive verbs that we have in the statement and their corresponding noble file. So the second question, so the first question was from Temrin 1, the first Temrin in noble file in Nahw Wadi. The second question is the second Temrin, second exercise. So حول الأفعال الآتية إلى أفعال مبنية المجهول مع بقاء في جملته. حول الأفعال الآتية أو الأفعال في الجمل الآتية إلى أفعال مبنية المجهول مع بقائه في جملته. So there is a mistake in the question, so it's the way I read it, that's the correct form. حول الأفعال في الجمل الآتية إلى أفعال مبنية للمجهول مع بقائه في جملته. So change the verbs in the following sentences to passive verbs, and let the statements remain in the sentence. So we'll be changing the verbs in each of these sentences to passive verbs. We'll be changing them to majhul. Then we'll make sure that the sentence remains the same. We are not extracting out the verbs alone. We are keeping the whole statement as a passive statement. So the first one, Sharibal Waladan al-Labana. Now we are going to take two major steps in doing this. The first step is that you will remove every action dua in all of the sentences. All the file in the sentence, you remove them. After removing the file, then you will change the active verb, the shape of the active verb, into passive. You change the ma'lum verb to majhul while considering the maf'ul bihi of the active statement. Let me repeat that. First step is you remove the file of the sentence, then you now change the verb into majhul, taking into consideration the maf'ul bihi of the previous active statement. So let's take a look at that. So first we have Sharib al-Waladan al-Labana. The two boys drank milk. So what is the performer of the action here is al-Waladan. Al-Waladan here is the final of the statement. So after removing Waladan, we have Sharib al-Labana. So the next step is to change Shariba while considering Laban, because if you recall from previous classes that we said it is the noble file, the action doer, that determines the gender of the verb. The gender of the verb and the number if it is jumla to ismiya. It determines what? The gender of the verb. So we are not looking at our file again since we've removed it. So what we are focusing on is the noble file. It's going to determine how we shape our verb. So we have Sharib al-Waladan al-Labana. After removing Waladan, we are left with Sharib al-Labana. Then we change Shariba to what? To Shuriba. We change Shariba to what? To Shuriba. Why? Because Laban is what? Is a masculine verb. So it's going to affect the shape of the verb, and and Laban is the Nahw Class. It is not a pronoun, so our verb is still going to come with the passive verb and Laban, while Laban will act as Nahw Class. So we have Shuriba Laban. The second one, we have Qatala Sa'id ad-Dhi'bu. We remove the file. Qatala Sa'idu ad-Dhi'ba. We remove the file first. That is as-Sa'idu. Because from the meaning we have Qatala Sa'idu ad-Dhi'ba. The hunter killed the wolf. So the hunter is the one that performed the action. We remove it. Then we are left with Qatala and Dhi'ba. Then we change Qatala to suit our Nahw Class. So Qatala we change to Qutila, since ad-Dhi'bu is here and it is a masculine verb. So Qutila ad-Dhi'bu. The next one we have Khamasha al-Qattu akhaka. The cat scratched your brother. So we remove the cat which performed the action. Al-Qattu is going. Then we are left with Khamasha and akhaka. Then we change Khamasha to Khumisha. And the Nahw Class becomes Rafan. So Akhoka becomes what? Akhuka. Khumisha Akhuka. The next one, Fahimna Darsana. So you can see that this verb is now different from what we had before. In previous examples, we have verbs and define as nouns, like normal nouns that we can see, and we have Nahw Class. But here we have the verb and an attached pronoun serving as the file. So here our file is attached pronoun, because we say Fahimna Darsana, we understood our lesson. So the noon here is an attached pronoun, changing the verb to first person plural. It changes the verb Fahima to first person plural format, Fahimna. So the noon here is the file. The na that we have here is the file, and you know we have to remove the file. So what we do is we remove the na, we get Fahima back after removing the na. So we change Fahima to what? To Majhul. We have Fuhima. So and Darsana becomes Darsuna. So we have Fuhima, Darsuna. The next one also is the same format. We have, but now this one can be in two ways since it is not vowelized. So we can analyze this in two ways. So we can say Madahna al-Mu'allima. We praise the teacher. That's the first way. And we can also say Madahana al-Mu'allimu. The teacher praised us. So those are the two ways we can look at this. So looking at the first way, Madahna al-Mu'allima, the teacher praised, we praise the teacher. The first one, we have na adallatu ala al-fa'il. Here the attached pronoun indicating the performer of the action, indicating the fa'il. So you know it is because we have na attached here, that is why the ha is taking sukun. If you recall the table of fi'l madi, you understand what I'm saying. So madahna nun, this na is defined like we did for the previous example. So removing the na, we are left with what? Madaha abi. So we change that to what? To majhul. So we have mudiha. Al-Mu'allima becomes Al-Mu'allimu. So that's why we've changed our sentence to a passive sentence. So we have Mudiha al-Mu'allimu. That's the first view. The second one is that we should consider Al-Mu'allimu as the fa'il and na as the maf'ulun bihi. So we say Madahana. You can see the first one was Madahna when the na was the fa'il. But here we are taking na as our maf'ulun bihi. So we are going to have it as Madahana al-Mu'allimu. The teacher praised us. So the na here is serving as maf'ul bihi. So what will be removing is what? Al-Mu'allimu. So after removing the Mu'allimu, we are left with Madaha and na. That na is the maf'ul bihi. So it's going to become what? Nahw Class. So while trying to attach the na back to the verb, we are going to make sure that we make it look like fa'il in an active verb. You know, for na in an active verb, we have madahna, the ha is taking sukun. That means this maf'ulun bihi, while trying to make it the Nahw Class, we are going to give the ha sukun in the majhul state also, so that the ma will be able to get attached to it. If you check the last 2 or 3 classes, you are going to see the table of passive verbs for fi'l madi. So you see how it is formed there. So we have mudihna. you know it's supposed to be mudiha, but we are considering no as a what? As a na'ib al-fa'il. So that now we give the ha sukun. It won't be mudihana, that is wrong. So it's going to be mudihna. So that is the second part of the question. So the next one we have nafa'ani as-sidqu. The truth benefits me, or the truth benefited me. Nafa'ani as-sidqu. So as-sidqu here is our fa'il. We are removing that. We are left with nafa'ani. So just like we did for madahana in the previous example that became mudihna, here we are going to change this one too. So the ya mutakallim is going to turn to tahu mutaharrika, that we are going to be able to attach to the majhul verb. So nufi'a plus tahu mutaharrika, we turn it to we change to what? Nufi'tu. So I was benefited. That is the what? The majhul, the passive statement. I was benefited from. The truth benefited me. So if you conceal the fa'il, we will be left with what? The passive statement. So that is what I was benefited. The next one we have yadakhiru al-muqtasid. Yadakhiru al-muqtasid al-mala. So al-muqtasid here is the fa'il. Al-muqtasid here is the fa'il, and al-mala is the maf'ulun bihi. So we remove al-muqtasid, we are left with al-mal and yadakhiru. So we change yadakhiru to fa'il, to majhul, it becomes yudakharu. Al-mala becomes al-malu. So yudakharu al-malu. So the meaning of the statement initially is yadakhiru al-muqtasid al-mala. The prudent person or the economic person saved the money, stores or is saving money or saves money. The prudent person saves money. So while changing it to majhul, to passive statement or to passive verb, it becomes yudakharul malu. The money is being saved. Money is being saved. Then next one we have yajma'ul awladu al-qutna. The boys collected the cottons. The boy collected the cotton. The boys collected the cotton. So after removing the file, we are left with the field that we change to passive. So we have yujma'ul kutnu. The next one is called al-hudhiyu al-hisanain. The horseman gave the two horses water. So we remove al-hudhiyu, we are left with yusqal hisanan. Don't forget our na'ib file will always come from nasbu state to raf'un state, from maf'ulun bihi to na'ib file. So the next one, na'budullaha. We remove the file which is mustatir here, and what was indicating that here is the nun. The nun is indicating that we have a mustatir file here, and that is na. So after removing that one, and that is nahnu. After removing the file, this nun changes to ya. So and we change the shape to yu'badu. So we have yu'badullah. Then yahtarimuka. The file also here is also mustatir. Maf'ulun bihi is this kaf. So we change the kaf to something that can attach to the verb in majhul state. So that will be a hidden file, naibul file. So our naibul file here is going to be hidden because it's this kaf. If you want to put it in a fi'l mudari, we just change the ya to ta. So we have what? To ihtaramu. Yakhfaduni al-kadhbu. Yakhfaduni al-kadhbu. Lies, telling lies degrades me or disgraces me. So we remove al-kadhbu, we have what? Yakhfaduni. Then we change this to majhul. While removing ya mutakalim and putting it in the verb, we have what? Ukhfadu. So then we have temrin on i'rab, on the analysis of passive statements. So first one here, suriqa al-mal. Suriqa is fi'l majhul. So before doing the analysis, you have to state that it is a majhul. It is not the normal active verb that we know. It is a passive verb. So we say fi'l madin mabniyun lil majhul mabniyun ala al-fath. Then al-mal is naib al-fa'il marfu' bi damatin zahira. Then the next statement we have lam tusbaq sayyaratuna. Suriqa al-mal is the money was stolen. Lam tusbaq sayyaratuna is our car was not preceded or was not overtaken. So we have lam is harfu nafin wa jazmin, a negating particle, mabniyun ala sukun. Then tusbaq is our passive verb, فعل مضارع مبني للمجهول مجزوم بالسكون. Then سيارتنا is نائب الفاعل مرفوع بضمة ظاهرة وهو أيضا مضاف because it is مضاف to na, and na is ضمير متصل مبني على السكون في محل جر الإضافة. So you can check Nahw Wadi for more exercises so that you get used to نائب الفاعل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.